What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing an oil change on my RSV4. Now an oil change may seem very simple, a very simple task to accomplish, but I find it very tedious. The reason is that I hate the fact that I have to remove the entire side fairing panel plus the belly pan. So in this video, I'm gonna attempt to do an oil change with only removing the belly pan and not the side fairing. Okay, first we're going to start with the removal of the belly pan. To do that, we have one 4mm hex, two, and two from the other side, but we're going to start with the 3mm hex, which is underneath here and underneath on the front right here. And one 3mm right here. Now with a 4mm hex, I'm going to remove this, loosen it, and this. And I already removed these two from the other side. So once we remove these two, the belly pan would drop. There you go. Now that the belly pan is removed, I'm going to start removing screws from the side fairing. The first one I'm going to do is this one, which is also 4mm. Most of the bolts for the fairings are all 4 or 3, but mostly 4mm hex. There you go. You want to make this looser. Next step is to remove these clips right here. There's 1, 2, 3 clips. Just right there. Remove them and remove the next 2. That way we can make space by pulling out the fairing here. After removing all 3 clips, we're going to remove this 4mm hex. Next one, also 4mm. Remove, and this will be the last screw to remove to create space under the fairing for the oil filter. Now the goal for me creating this space right here, see, now I can put my hand underneath, I can work under the filter. The goal was for me to put the oil filter wrench under there, not only to remove it, because you can also remove it by hand, but to torque it. I have a torque wrench that you can add in this one and torque it. Unfortunately, whether you keep the fairing on or off, you cannot fit the wrench in there because the oil cooler is in front of it. So it does not fit, which means I'm gonna have to remove the oil filter by hand and put it back by hand and just tighten as much as I can by hand. Okay, so we might not be able to use a filter wrench, but the good news is that we will be able to change oil without removing the side fairing, which will eventually make this like a 10-minute job. So that's a success. Next step, let's remove the oil fill plug and keep this in the side because I'm going to replace this with a CNC. Also remove this. You don't have to remove this completely. Just unscrew it, leave it in place. Also, air can circulate once we remove the oil plug underneath, so we can remove the oil. Now with 17mm socket, I'm going to remove the plug right here. This is a titanium pre-drilled that I changed in the first service. Normally, yours will be a 10mm hex. This is stock plug, so I replace this with a titanium pre-drilled, and that's a 17mm. Going to remove that. There you go. By hand, slowly. Check for some metal savings here. Not bad. Not bad at all. And we're going to replace this washer with a new one. Next, we're going to remove the oil filter right there. Of course, this will be by hand. This is gonna have to go all the way in there. And it will make some mess down there because the hose is underneath there you can just wipe it down. There you go. Okay, when you remove the oil filter, always inspect that the rubber ring is around it and not on the engine, because when you place a new one, you want to have a double ring right there. So this is good. I'm going to replace it with a new filter. Okay, before you insert the oil filter, first we're going to insert the plug and the new washer. Put it back in place right there. Hand tight is fine for now. So we can stop the leak and insert the oil filter. Next step, make sure you clean everything here and also clean around the area of the oil filter. Right there, all of this. Make sure you get everything. There we go. And add the filter. Now get the new oil filter, and we're gonna add a little bit of oil. Not too much though, because the angle that we have to put it in, it will spill, and then grab a little oil around the rubber ring. Just there. And now we're good to insert it. Now this is gonna be a little tricky in here because you're gonna have to put it through there and there and tighten it as fast as you can. There you go, hand tight. Now we're gonna wipe it down, because with all of that oil on it, we won't be able to get friction. And see, from here, you can get good grip and tighten it. Going to tighten it, I would say almost as much as you can. Because trust me, by hand, you will not reach 15 Newton meters. That this is recommended by the manufacturer. There you go. I'm gonna wipe my glove and retighten it dry. Okay, now with the torque wrench and the 17 millimeter for this, I'm gonna torque around 20 to 21 Newton meters. I'm not sure what the manufacturer recommends. I haven't checked the manual, but usually that's the torque. There you go. At 21 Newton meters. Done. Now that the oil filter is tight and also the plug is torqued, we're gonna take this funnel right here where we removed the fill plug before and start with the same one that we used to fill the oil filter, to keep good reference of the amount we've used. That's one. I'm gonna put at least 2 more before we start checking the level. That's the second quart. And that's the third. So now for the fourth, the goal is to put the entire, I believe, about 100 milliliters. So I'm gonna aim for about 3.8 to 3.9. Actually, I'm gonna start with 3.8. So I'm gonna leave somewhere up around here and check oil level. Okay, so I've left just around here. Now you can see the level. Just around, I left about 200 milliliters, or 1/4 of the quart. I'll check the level and refill if needed. So I'll remove the dipstick, clean it. Now again, remember, my bike right now is on the rear stand, which means it's lifted up from the rear, so all the oil drops to the front. So we're gonna have a higher reading. Do not screw, just put it in, remove it, and check the reading. So you see that the reading is just at the high. So for now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to add any more oil, because I'm gonna have to level the bike and then recheck the level. Again though, I will have to start the bike, warm the bike for about 10-15 minutes, get up to temperature, and then turn off the bike, wait about 10 minutes, recheck level, and then refill. So this process is not really a 5-minute process, because you want to get the oil level correct. And last but not least, I'm going to replace the stock plastic cap with a CNC. I believe this is aluminum, right here. And I'm going to take the O-ring, the that comes with the stock, remove it, add it on this one, and then place it in. I won't go into place it in yet because I need to do some oil level checking, but you get the point of how it's going to look. Plus this, use a 10mm hex, which is actually a good idea because the stock plug underneath also uses its 10mm hex. So the mats, this is smart. So there you have it, guys. Oil change within 10 or 15 minutes. You don't even have to remove the side fairing. I'm so happy about that. This was my first oil change after the 600-mile first service, which I did not do, my dealer did. So thinking that I would have to remove the entire fairing just made it much more tedious than I thought it would be. Good news is it's not. The easiest thing, 10 to 15 minutes. I would probably not even remove the 3 clips that I removed. Probably not even these 4mm, only the belly pan, this 4mm, just to make enough space to put my hand in, to unscrew the oil filter, and that's it. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope this video make you see how you can do a 10 to 15 minute oil change. If you like this video, hit the like button, also hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.